Hey there. So I've got a good one for today. This is going to be a really interesting conversation because we're going to be talking about WordPress maintenance plans. We talked about it once before about, what can you put into a WordPress maintenance plan that, makes your clients actually want to care about it. So I think the title was something like how to create a WordPress care plan that your clients actually care about. So if you want to know more about this kind of thing, that's another training session to check out. What I wanted to talk about today, though, is why aren't clients buying these maintenance plans? And what can you do to kind of restructure the way that you offer them, and maybe even restructure your business kind of overall so that you don't have to do all this kind of work for free? And so just kind of right off the bat, what I mean by WordPress maintenance, sometimes that's a little bit confusing because there's a lot of definitions running around about it. So just to be clear about what I'm talking about right now, I'm talking about, updating plugins, keeping WordPress up to date, keeping it secure, doing backups, that kind of stuff. I'm not really talking about, ongoing implementation of business strategy of any sort, like updates or whatever. I'm not really talking about that. I'm not really talking about like prepaid hours either. I'm talking about like WordPress maintenance plans that, keep the site online and secure and stable, and stuff that, doing stuff that you kind of need to do month to month on an ongoing basis. So if that's the kind of stuff that you're working on, and and like the way that things are right now is all WordPress developers know, all of us, we know that you have to do that kind of stuff. You have to do the plugin updates, you have to do the security updates, you have to update both core and the plugins, you need to do backups. There's a whole suite of things that need to be going on in order to keep the WordPress site healthy and online. And so we know all of that, right? So, but here's what's happening. We know that we need to do it, and we offer it to our clients. Like we oftentimes will build the website, and there's a price for that, and then there's a price for the hosting, and then there's, and like the maintenance and so forth can oftentimes be bundled into that. But what's happening is the clients aren't buying it. So why aren't the clients buying it? And the issue is that there's a bunch of different reasons, right? So clients oftentimes get overwhelmed by the WordPress maintenance plans, like what's being done. Like they don't know what the difference is between core and plugins and all of the tech support issues that go into it. And so it's an overwhelming thing. If you're trying to move them off of Wix, then it's a really, really crappy offer to say, hey, let me move you from Wix to WordPress, and now you can pay me to keep your site online, and you can pay me to do these plugins and all these updates and all this stuff. And that's stuff that you didn't have to do before. And so, that's a bad proposition. So that's another issue. The client's not really getting anything out of it, which is another thing. It's like, so you're kind of explaining that, bad things could potentially happen, but they're not seeing, they don't have the bad things yet. It's a very preventative thing. It's sort of like an insurance policy for something that might never happen. And so, whenever there's that kind of an issue, and then there's some kind of like future looking bad thing that might happen, then you weigh the cost. Well, what if the bad thing actually does happen? What do we do to fix it? And what a lot of clients are coming to the conclusion of is that if the site gets hacked, if something bad happens, at that point, they'll just pay whatever it costs to restore backup and fix it or whatever. And, maybe at that time, just do a full sweep of all the plugin updates or whatever at that time. And that would be cheaper than it would be to keep paying you, $100 or whatever per month to try to, keep everything going month to month. And so there's a bad business proposition there. It's not really the kind of thing that, that clients are thinking of as being like a good investment, or a good deal. And so, that's kind of the bottom line. The bottom line is clients, we know that we have to do the work. We present the offer to the client. The client then says, and to themselves, this is a bad deal, I don't want to do it. And they do something else instead, which would usually be nothing. And then they just kind of roll the dice and hope that everything goes okay. And so then what happens is this. So now we as developers, we know, and we look at the site, we see the little update button in the WordPress admin, the little red dot with the number on it. The number keeps getting bigger and bigger, and there's more and more updates that have to happen. And then maybe you see your client like out and about, in your regular everyday life, and you're thinking, oh man, their site's not getting taken care of. I got to update the plugin. Somebody's got to do the plugins update or whatever. They're not paying me to do it, but I know if I don't do it, it's going to be a problem. If nothing else, WordPress core is going to get updated, and then the other plugins that have been adjusted to deal with the new WordPress core, there's going to be issues. So we got to do it. So it's just a ticking time bomb. And then what happens is, because most of us are all good people and we care about stuff, we end up just doing it for free anyway. And so That's a problem. That's a big problem, because it's bad for you to have to do all that stuff for free, because how are you supposed to stay in business if you're doing free stuff all the time? And it's bad for your clients if you go out of business. Who's going to be there to help maintain their website and do updates and coach them and do all the things that need to be done to get the kind of outcome that they want from their website? And so it's like everybody's losing in this sort of a scenario. And so what I wanted to talk about today is, like, if you're feeling like this is you and you're kind of just burning yourself out doing all this stuff for free, even though you offer it to your clients, they say no, and you're like, oh, fine, it has to be done, I have to do it anyway. And so you kind of feel exacerbated and you're spinning your wheels, and then you've got a bunch of different clients lined up all in this scenario, and you're like, dude, I am working for free, this isn't happening for me. And so, I've talked to a lot of people that are kind of in that situation, that have that problem, and this is the solution. So I want to talk to you about, why it is that, people aren't buying these things, give you a couple of examples of other types of products that are kind of in this category, and how you can restructure the way that you're presenting this service that you're offering in a way that allows clients to really buy into what you're offering, and then it affords you the opportunity to do your best work. And that's really what it's all about. It's being able to structure your business in a way that lets you feel good about the work that you're doing, because you're doing an awesome job and you're getting compensated fairly for it. So even if you were to do the WordPress updates and so forth anyway, even if it was free, that means you're doing your best work and you're doing a great job, but you're not getting compensated for it, and you can't sustain that. Even if you wanted to, you can't just volunteer that kind of time for everybody, because as soon as it scales into 2 to 3 to 5 to 10 clients, you just can't sustain that. And so it's going to be better for everyone involved to fix this problem, so that you can actually have a stable business that will enable you to be there to continually help your clients. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And if you find that any of this stuff starts to really resonate with you and you want to talk more about it, I am available to consult with you one-on-one for free. And if that's something that you want to do, then you can head over to doublestack.net/call. You'll see my calendar, pick a time, and we'll get on there and we'll talk about your clients. We'll talk about your WordPress maintenance plans and other types of things that maybe you're doing for recurring revenue, and how you can really stabilize that whole feast or famine problem by embracing the concept of monthly retainers with your clients that include things like WordPress maintenance, but also include some other stuff too. And so that's what we're talking about today. And it's going to be a pretty quick thing, I think, because the concept is kind of a big change, but it's really easy to grasp. And here's what it is. So have you ever noticed that if you were to go and rent a car, if you pay with a credit card to rent a car, a lot of times the credit card that you use to rent the car has built-in auto insurance. And so my wife and I, we do a little bit of traveling, and from time to time we we'll fly somewhere, and then when we get there, I think we went to the Caymans, and when we got there, they we had to rent a car because we flew there, we needed to drive around a little bit, and so we took out a credit card, paid for the rental car, and if we happened to crash the car, have a problem while we were driving around, the credit card happened to have this little kind of insurance plan where if you use that card to pay for the rental car, then the credit card will sort of cover the auto insurance for you. And so so that was pretty cool. And so the reason that I'm bringing that out is I didn't sign up for the credit card because I wanted the auto care, the auto insurance. That wasn't the point of the card. Nobody gets credit cards because they want the auto insurance that comes when you rent a car with that card. And so that's the point. So instead, I've got an Amazon credit card or whatever, and so I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon. I know that Amazon has a nice little cash rewards thing that you get some money back for those types of purchases, and that the kind of cash rewards really work for our lifestyle because we shop on Amazon a lot. And of course, I obviously like the convenience of being able to pay with a credit card and be able to do stuff online, be able to do stuff not having to carry a ton of cash around all the time, and all of the things are really nice. The benefits of the credit card are those types of things. And it never even crossed my mind to even think, does that card have a rental car insurance policy baked into it? But because it did, I was like, that's awesome too. That's doubly awesome to discover that that's available. Kind of pushes you even further. So while I never would have bought a card because it had rental car insurance, it's nice that it's there, and it makes me feel like it's even better deal for me. And that's the concept for these WordPress maintenance plans that really works. It's like nobody is going to sign on to a monthly retainer package with you if it's just for the WordPress maintenance plans. That's not enough to make the benefits strong enough to make someone say, yes, I am willing to pay whatever it is that you want to charge, a couple $100 a month or whatever, for that kind of service. And so all that is to say, if you restructure things in a way that adds additional value, so if there's something that you can put in your plans to make it so that your clients feel like, yeah, that's a good idea. I understand how if we do X, Y, and Z on a month-to-month basis, that's going to result in, and then you kind of fill in the blank for whoever, whatever kind of business you're working with. It's going to result in more customers in my business. It's going to result in more people eating at my restaurant. It's going to result in more people filling out my contact form and, contacting me about their business, or result in, more income, a new income stream or whatever it might be. Those are the types of things that you need to be putting into your monthly retainers, and then kind of just slide in there underneath of all of that the fact that, hey, a couple of times a month, I'm going to log into your WordPress site. I'm going to, make sure everything is updated and secure. And that's kind of just built into the package. And when you do that, now you've differentiated yourself from everybody else. Nobody else is doing that. And you've got a high value offer there because the offer has results tied to it, like forward-looking goal type objectives, with regard to the outcomes that the business that you're working with, that's what they're looking for. And so if you're saying, here's what we're going to do on a month-to-month basis, and it includes the things that bring the results, and then you slide into that, hey, you know what? In addition to being able to help you with these business objectives, you can feel safe working with me. I know what I'm doing. And part of that includes making sure that your site stays healthy. And when you put that in there, now there's this whole relationship building component to your monthly retainer, because now your client sees that you're leading them, you have integrity, you're doing your best work, and you're getting paid to do it too. So you don't have to just do it for free all the time. And there's so many people that kind of get stuck in the mindset of, I really want to sell this WordPress maintenance plan because you have to do the work. And even if they say no, I'm going to end up doing it anyway. And so it really breaks you out of that, have to work for free kind of thing, burn yourself out. Everybody's getting a good deal but you. And then, ultimately you just can't sustain it, because as soon as you begin to scale and take on more clients, you can't keep that going. So this is a really important issue to fix, and it's critical for people working with WordPress, because we all know you have to do the WordPress maintenance stuff. You have to do it. You can't not do it. Now, some of it is automated, like depending on where you host, they might update WordPress itself for you. But, no matter what, it's going to require you to, make some changes to the way that you structure your offers so that you can include these types of services in what you do, while also helping your clients at a deeper, more effective level than before. Hey, Tom, it's good to see you. Thanks for saying hello. That reminds me, I always forget to say, if you're here and you're watching this video and you have some questions, you want to continue on with this conversation, or something kind of is connecting with what's going on in your business or whatever, or you just want to say, boop, high five, you can go ahead and leave a comment below, or just say high five, or do whatever. And that's really cool for me, because I can see people's names about who's showing up, and that's awesome. Otherwise, I just see the little eyeball with the number that says there's 10 people watching or whatever. And so say hello. I'd love to see you, and I'll give you a high five right back. So anyway, so that's the main point of what I wanted to say. And if this sounds like stuff that you're kind of working through and you feel really stuck, because there's all kinds of things that you can do to make your proposals and to make your offers and the packages that you offer to your clients, you can make those really strong. And I know a lot of people that I've talked to feel really kind of alone in that. They feel kind of stuck, where they know that that's what they want. They want to be able to, set themselves apart by, helping their clients do better than they otherwise would be able to do had it not been for that relationship. And, one of the things that I feel so strongly about is this is what it takes to differentiate you from all the other low budget developers and low budget other alternatives too, right? Because like when you're out there meeting with your clients, other things are competing for their attention. And that includes, cheaper WordPress developers. It includes people on like Fiverr and Upwork who are way cheaper. And it even includes like free stuff. Like, why shouldn't they go online and build their own Wix website or something like that? And so if you want to break out of that, if you want to differentiate yourself from all of those other cheaper alternatives, the fundamental thing that you have to do is you have to be able to lead your clients into a level of success that's greater, that's higher, that's bigger and better than they otherwise would be able to achieve on their own had it not been for you. And the common denominator that runs across the board for all the other cheaper alternatives, whether it's a different WordPress developer, because very few WordPress developers take any sort of leadership, or if it's Fiverr or Upwork or overseas developers, or even just having a client spend a weekend building their own website, all of those other things have this one thing in common, and that is it puts the burden of success entirely on the shoulders of your client. And the problem with that is your client doesn't know how to achieve the success. That's why they're hiring you in the first place. That's why they're coming to you. They're saying, you know what? I know I need to get online. I know I need to have an online marketing strategy. I don't know how to do it. And then most WordPress developers will show up and start asking questions like, how many pages do you want? What do you want the customer experience to be? Do you know of any other websites that you like, and we can mimic some of those design elements in yours? What's your budget? Let me tell you what I can do for that. All of those questions make your client feel like you have absolutely no idea what they need, and you don't know what's going on. You're asking questions that reveal that it's on them. If they're going to have any success, it's on them to figure it out. Now, you can come along and implement what they say, oftentimes with magnificent degrees of skill, but that's not what it takes to have the success. If that's all they want, if the outcome is just a nice 5-page responsive site with a contact form, and that's the goal, they can get that for half your price. So if someone says, okay, I like what you're offering, but why shouldn't I just go get that for half the price from somewhere else? And the answer that you need to give them is because if they go to anywhere else, the entire burden of success is going to be on them, rather than you, because you're the one that has the knowledge. You're the one that has the experience. You're the one that's the internet, digital marketing, WordPress expert. And so if you want to draw your clients to you and differentiate yourself from all the other people that are out there doing this low budget, rote technical service kind of business model, this is the key. The key is draw your clients to you because of you, they're getting the success. So they don't need the website. They don't need the branding. They don't need the content marketing, the SEO, the JavaScript stuff, the SaaS, the Gulp, whatever it is that you're doing that's on your technical resume. Those aren't the things that they need, because if that's what they need, they can get that for half the price or less from somewhere else. What they actually need is you. And if you can then come to the table doing those things too, right? So don't stop doing that stuff. Keep doing that stuff, but bring more to the table. And that totally fundamentally changes your whole business. It changes everything about the way you view your business, the value you associate with your business, the value that your clients associate with working with you, whether or not, working with you is some sort of an exclusive opportunity, or whether it's just like working with everybody else. That's that fundamental thing. And the way that I phrase it for myself, for my clients, the people that I work with, like the foundational principle of what I do is I ask the question, what am I going to be able to do that's going to generate a better result for the people that I'm working with? And if you ask yourself that one question, you can then hang all the other things that you do in your business off of that one pinpoint. And that includes these WordPress maintenance plans, because you have to do the work if you want your clients to have any degree of success with their website. Otherwise, it's just going to be a big mess. And so what I'm talking about today is how can you save yourself from the trouble of having to do it all for free, even if because your client usually says no. Most of the people I talk to, they say, yeah, I'm trying to get WordPress maintenance plans. I say, what do you charge? They say, somewhere between free and maybe like $100 per month. And then I say, well, is that enough to really do what you want? And they say, yeah, somebody's paying $100 a month, I can do it. It's like, well, how do people respond when you make that offer? And then they almost always say no. And then I say, well, what do you do? And they say, well, I do it anyway. And I say, why do you do that? And they say, because if I don't, the site's going to be, a problem. And when I see people out and about, like I walk past them at the gym or at the grocery store or whatever, then, I kind of don't even want to look, because, I know their website's kind of deteriorating, and, I feel bad about it. And so here's how you can fix that. The way that you fix that is you treat the WordPress maintenance plans like the rental car insurance on a credit card. Most of the time you don't even think about that it's there, but that, you picked the card because in addition to having, Amazon rewards and great cash back and the convenience of swiping your card and all the different things, all the benefits that you actually want from your card, In addition, you're like, hey, in addition to that, they're going to be taking care of my rental car when I'm out traveling and stuff. Or, some cards have like hotel insurance kind of built into it, like that, those kinds of things. But nobody buys the credit card. Nobody gets the credit card because they want rental car insurance. Nobody does that. It's not even a thing. And so that's the same thing with WordPress maintenance plans. The vast majority of your clients are going to say, I'm not buying it. And for the same reason why nobody would take the credit card, because of rental car insurance. So you have to put the other benefits in there. You have to stack it up with stuff that they actually want. And so if that's the kind of thing that you want to talk about, like you feel like you want to do that, that's what you want, but you don't want to be alone and trying to figure this out. You want to be able to put, good pricing together for it and, structure it in a way that actually draws people in. And maybe another thing that could be huge is a lot of times, especially in the world of WordPress, the people that I know are really smart, really technical. And when a person that's smart and technical like that begins to communicate what they're trying to do for someone, the person on the other end of the conversation, woo, they're overwhelmed. It's too much info all at once, and they don't know what to make of it. They start hearing things like plugins and core and maintenance and whatever, and it's just too much. And so if you feel like you overwhelm your clients with your offers, then that's another thing that we can totally work through, because that's a big deal with regard to these maintenance plans, because you and I know that the stuff that you do is pretty technical. I mean, you have to be kind of tech savvy to do this kind of stuff, especially when it comes to database backups and whatever. Now obviously there's ways to automate it and make it easier on you, but the point is when you're communicating it to your client, the point is the things that are getting done, that's a pretty technical thing. So, and that overwhelms people, it disengages them, and it scares them off. They back off, and ultimately no is the answer that most people get when they offer these kinds of plans. And of course that wrecks everything. So if you want to fix that, if that's something that's kind of nagging at you and you've been offering these types of things for a while and most people are telling you no, or if they're saying yes, it's still at a price that you feel like you're just kind of working for free, let's talk about fixing that. So again, if this training session or any of the others, we've done a whole bunch of them, if this is the kind of stuff that you feel like is kind of helpful for your business and you want to take that to the next level, then let's get on the phone and talk one-on-one for free about it. So it's doublestack.net/call. That's where you can find a whole bunch of times on my personal calendar so you and me can get together and just crush this stuff. After you pick a time, you'll see a little form. There'll be a couple of questions so that I can kind of get primed to know a little bit about your business, maybe check out your website, and then we'll be ready to go and really do a lot of cool stuff together. So if that sounds good, doublestack.net/call. Check it out. And so again, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, we get on here and we talk about this stuff. So again, if you're here, it would be awesome if you would just give me a high five, boop, or say hello, or whatever comes to mind. If you have any questions about WordPress maintenance plans or whatever, put that into the comments. I'll keep an eye on it throughout the week. And all of that sounds awesome. And on Thursday, I've got another really good one. So I won't spoil it. I won't say what it is yet, but come back on Thursday at 2 o'clock and we'll do another one of these training sessions. And I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. So awesome, great to see you guys, and we'll catch up again either Thursday here or hopefully even before that on the phone at doublestack.net/call. So high five till Thursday, boop, and thanks for joining me, and I'll be talking to you guys again soon.